Hello, friends. How are you today? So for this one, it's just going to be a really short little number for the shoulders, upper back, and of course the neck is a part of that complex, or what I think of as a complex. So do need a strap for this one. If you're at your office or something, maybe you have a belt you can use. It should be fairly wide. We're going to go overhead if possible. My sensitive shoulder friends, I will give you some modifications. You won't bring the arm all the way overhead, or you will just go right before any kind of pain or that edge of the range of motion is. You want it to be nice and easy, no pain. And then you'll just come forward again. And if you work that softly and gently over time, I believe you will get more movement in your shoulder than if you push through pain. So standing up nice and tall in Tadasana. And before we just whoop into it, right, take a couple of breaths here and just notice what you notice about that upper body. Again, I'm not putting my experience on you, but just observation I'm noticing. I would love to round my kind of upper mid back behind me and just kind of bob forward. That is really where my spine would like to go this morning. And so it puts a little bit of extra effort on my part to lengthen, and remembering not to crush my kidneys when I do that. So what are your things in general, your habitual things, right? And then, maybe something else is going on today and be open to that. I have the strap about halfway through. I'm going to go up, and first time I'm not going all the way through. I'm just going to go up right until I feel that point where it's like, oof, starting to get a stretch. That's where my shoulders feel like they're a little, there's some restriction, we'll say. So now I want you to soften your shoulders down away from your ears and then lift them up to your ears. Soften them down away from your ears. All this is softly, right? Slowly up. Slowly down. Now leave them down without boxing them out and being aggressive. And then start to widen your strap as much as you need to go back. Again, sensitive shoulder friends, you might just do that with one arm, right? Otherwise, you're just going to stay at that place before there's pain. Try to keep that longest spine you ever did find and bring it back. Go ahead and release one side if you're working with metal, the side without the metal. Forward again. Find your longest spine. So again, one more time, come up to that point where you're feeling the restriction. Gently lift the shoulders up to the ears, soften them down, slow and soft, right? Inhale up. Let the breath be part of the practice. It's important. Exhale down. It's not just the physical movement. You all know that by now, right? Lift the ears and exhale, soften them down. And again, go ahead and maybe widening that strap. Trying not to let your belly or your ribs flare or your head bob forward. Release one more time, friends. Same thing. We're going to come up right to the point of restriction. Maybe it's a little further, maybe not. We don't get frustrated, right? Go ahead and let those ears come up. We try not to. We practice not getting frustrated. Exhale, soften down. And plenty of times I get frustrated. Let those shoulders lift up, and I'm practicing not to, right? Exhale, soften down. One more time up. Soften them down and then try to go through. And again, just try to keep the longest spine you can. Now you're going to hold if this was a clock facing you, right, on the camera, I would be at about 1 o'clock. So 12 o'clock's above my head, 1 o'clock's about here. I'm going to go to about 2 o'clock-ish and pause if I can. Go as wide as you have to go. Try not to let the ribs, the solar plexus flare. Go to your 3 o'clock, which is about the height of the shoulders in this realm, right? And then go ahead and release that down. Take the strap behind you. You're probably going to have to creep in a little bit on it. Find the longest spine you ever did find. And then go ahead and pull out on the strap. And yes, we could interlace, but the strap is right there. And also have that little bit of extra gap today instead of doing the interlace. I'll give you the interlace next if you want it, right? But first I've got just a little bit of space, so I'm not pushing my body into anything. I'm pulling out on the strap with the intention of strengthening my upper back. Now I want you to imagine, if you could, that I had my hand right on top of your crown of your head. And I want you to gently push the crown of your head up into my hand as if you could lift my hand a centimeter or something like that, right? And again, it's not the aggressive part of like push it up. It's more just lengthening, 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 still pulling out on the strap. And go ahead and release that strap if you want to. If you'd like to do it a second time with the strap, you're welcome to. Interlace. Bend the elbows before we go into it with the elbows bent. Let your shoulders lift up towards your ears. It's different here, right? Exhale, soften down. So notice that experience. Lift them up just 2 times this time. Soften them down. Try to see if your elbows can meet behind your back. And we're not doing what you think we're doing. We're doing one more thing. Knuckles over towards the right hip. Elbows move in to meet each other. And maybe you let your head, oops, sorry, wrong one. Right ear towards right shoulder. So we're moving away from that left shoulder with the head. And that might start to lengthen that side of the neck. Reach the knuckles down, still bent elbows, head up. Slide the knuckles over to the left, wherever they get is just great. Move the elbows in towards each other. And this time it would be your left ear towards your left shoulder, if that feels okay with your neck. Come back up. Now go ahead and go over towards the right, again with the knuckles. Right ear towards right shoulder, and I'm going to mirror you here. Now this time maybe turn the chin down towards the collarbone, and you can move a little bit with circling, moving it around, or if you find a spot that's really juicy, keep the elbows moving into each other and pause there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to lift the chin up first and then turn back to center. We'll go ahead and we'll bring the knuckles over towards the, not I mirrored you, I'm screwed up, left hip, left ear towards left shoulder. Again, you're going to let that chin soften down. You can circle it around and you can keep moving it on the breath, right? Or you can find one home for it and take a couple of breaths. Let the elbows move into each other. Keep that solar plexus, the front side of the solar plexus gently pulled back. Bring the chin up, come back to center. And now what you've been waiting for, right? Maybe elbows in towards each other. Arms might straighten. That was what the maybe was about. You might stay right here. You might bend your knees, especially of, high blood pressure or anything like that, right? You might fold in, you might reach the knuckles up off of the low back, whether that's an inch, a centimeter, or maybe up towards the sky. And breathe. My friends who are almost at the ground with your pinky fingers, be careful you're not just hanging in your joint because you're hypermobile, right? So you might actually find those shoulder blades moving away from the buttock, towards the buttocks, so away from the ears, and lengthen the neck and let the head hang and find a little bit of stability. Different bodies, different things, right? I'm not talking to everybody with every cue that I do. Reach the knuckles back, tone the belly, come on up. Reach those arms down. Scapular cars. Maybe you just do a section of this if you don't have time for all of it. Go ahead and go the other way. And you can come in later in the day and pick up where you left off or whatever feels right. Let your chin be really negative and shake no. I'm not shaking so much as I'm gently moving. And then bring it forward and go into yes. This is just a little finisher just to say hi to the neck. And then let your chin do a circle, little or big, you get to choose. You might close the eyes. Go ahead and go the other way with the circle. And come on back to center. Feet solidly down. Crown of the head gently lifting up without being aggressive. And just notice if anything has shifted or changed for you since last you were here. And because I put it out there, I still have a little bit of a want, my back, of that rounding, but for the most part, it feels much more comfortable to stand upright, like I got some space in that upper back, but not every time. This time it did. Be well. May you be well. May all beings everywhere be well. Love ya.